Hi.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful evening to another episode of A Tale of Dice. I am gathered here around the globe, well, parts of the Netherlands, around the internet, with Charlie, Crystal, Max, and Maxime to continue the beautiful adventures of the pack. So, how are you guys doing today? Feeling good?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't even start and we already had 10 viewers. Like, that's awesome. Like, love you all.
I love those
like,
double
literally
digits.
love all you.
Love those double digits.
It's a sunny day. I have not yet been burnt this week.
What?
Ooh.
No.
That's an
I'm
achievement,
keeping the
Charlie.
factor 50 at arm's length at all times. People are very weirded out when I start lubing myself up while shopping, but
Yeah, I think
Maybe
most of
you
you
should
think you're starting a little too early with that. Like, whoa, wait till we get home, Charlie.
And maybe you should use sun lotion instead of lube.
well, I mean, it
That
is
might
sun
help.
lotion. It just kind of looks like I'm lubing myself up.
And
if you look.
maybe not in your pants, you know?
Right.
Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but like I'm wearing a mask, so where else should I?
Oh, and guys, as always, if there's anything during the game or something, like technical issues or something, let us know.
Blame Max.
Yeah, blame me. I'll fix it as soon as possible. But just let me know, because, yeah, else we'll never find out. And we want to give the best experience for you that we can give. So,
Yeah,
We're
for
stupid.
all of our viewers, we will be watching the chat. We will be interacting with you. We will be listening to whatever you're saying. We might ignore it, but you know. And also, just like last week, our party has a mysterious orb with them, or a D20 actually, that will allow you, our viewers, to spend the llama points that you get just for watching and not doing anything else. And you'll be able to spend them on neat little bonuses or even big bonuses for all of our characters or
Mm-hmm.
all of Wouter's
Or the
bad guy.
enemy. Or the enemy.
imagine that. People don't even have to jerk off to get something. Like,
You don't even have to show anything for
It'll help, though. It'll help, though.
just free
Very
things
gross.
on the internet.
Wow. Well,
18
with
plus, yay!
With that out of the way, I think all the vulgarities are pretty much done for now. So, can I ask you, lovely people, a beautiful question? Shall we play a game?
Da, ksh, da, 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 da.
I saw that we had the beautiful intro from Charlie this time. Very nice, very nice.
from time to time, I just have to put that in. Like, it's
Oh, God.
it's so
It
amazing.
is beautiful. It is beautiful. All right.
I didn't even. I'm laughing about Arno's comment.
Oh.
Like, if I don't even have to jerk off, why am I even watching?
Well, you are allowed to, Arno. You are allowed to.
Yeah, you are allowed to. Just don't share publicly. You know, ask for consent. So you got mine. Good.
Well,
It's a hard no.
Wouter.
Hard.
speaking of hard nopes, let's jump into tonight's game. Because last time we left off, our heroes were journeying far to the east in search of two individuals. Firstly, Iroh's long-lost friend Dagwood had been spotted somewhere in the region. And secondly, a old benefactor of our party members named Violora Moran had another job for our party members in a quaint, neat little town known as Quenja. Our heroes were now journeying through the ever-mist pine forest towards this village to continue their adventures. But on their way, they stumbled upon some other problems. Spiders in the forest of the Evermist were assailing all the different denizens in it, and as such, our party members could venture forth and hunt a couple of those spiders, only to be ambushed just this very evening by a shadowy figure commanding a shadow spider in search of our heroes. The mysteries deepen as this quarrel between people from the Shadowfell and the Feywild seems to nap at the very feet of our heroes. But their campsite, now retaken by our heroes, only houses a couple of corpses of these large spiders that dwelled within. The adrenaline is still pumping through your veins, as slowly but surely you're all get a breather, and gather around your ruined campsite. What would you like to do?
Holy shit, Hannah! Wow! Since when can you cast the third sphere of influence? That's Fireball! That was amazing!
Yeah, I guess I have my power more under control now?
Do you do you know how big of a step casting into the third sphere of influence is?
Actually, no. But
So,
it felt really good.
I can imagine that.
I have no clue what Allison's talking about. I thought the spiders were just stepping into the fire. It happens so often.
Yeah.
Great job.
To the spiders that were singed by the fireball. My torch is illuminating the place. Are they still are they still edible or are they wrecked?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Because that's gonna be, that's gonna be what my judgment of fireball is depending on. That's 15.
15. It seems that they're a little bit cooked, as it is, but like the fireball itself only singed the exterior of the spider, so you have like that beautiful scent of burnt hair hanging in the air. But the nice thing about spiders is that their carapaces are on the outside, so you feel like you've seen large spiders before in your home jungles of wild growth. So you know that like if you could just like crack open the shell, there should be some nice tender meat underneath there. Should be
Wait.
okay.
So I just laugh. Yes. Good food, Hannah. Good job. You great warrior now.
Thank you. Wait, now? I
Yeah.
wasn't before.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, no. And I'll have bad days, yes?
Fair.
So we now eat spiders? We already looted their holes and stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Oh no, wait, that was the previous spider
Yeah.
battle. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
mixing up things. These attacked us at behest of the
A
shadow
shadow people.
guy.
Yeah.
We were just kind of camping here. We were about to go to sleep when this happened.
Exactly. You take a look back at your campsite just besides the road, and you can see that the campsite is mostly intact, except for one tent that was kind of trampled by one of the large spiders. And the campfire itself also just got like kicked everywhere and scintils all around you, as the spiders didn't really take notice of that small little piece of fire on the ground.
So
But other
whose
than that,
tent is
everything's good.
trampled?
What do you say?
Allison's tent is trampled. Sorry.
He's
However, in a beautiful bag of holding that you found, you also found a beautiful set of supplies to set up an even larger tent.
That is mine!
So Allison, you can have my tent. I will take the bigger tent, and I'll share that with Hannah because we are the bag of holders.
Deal.
I
The bag of
still
holders.
have to teach Hannah more about meditation, unless Hannah feels like she can do it on her own right now. Silence.
Hannah just cast fireball. She is drunk with power. She's just gonna like light up the entire forest.
Hannah, give Grakal tent. I will set it up while you bicker like small little dragonborn.
I know a better option, I think, Carl. How about you get rid of all of these corpses so we don't have to sleep in the stench that these creatures create? Maybe cut them up for food, if you'd like so. Then I'll set up the tent.
Very well. Grakal will work on animal corpse.
Oh, I can help you.
Must decide who gets tent, yes?
Yeah, I'll sleep in it anyway, it's fine.
All right, so recall you take out your weapon, the orc neck splitter with like the serrated blade on one side, and you just begin to go to town on these spider corpses as a meat lumberjack. Just
All the nice parts separate.
yeah, like get all the nice legs off so you can put them in the bag of holding and get them for later. Like the large carcasses themselves need to be cut up. It's quite of a chore right now, and it is getting late, so you guys might want to sleep in a little bit in the morning. But eventually, after another I'd say, well, go ahead and make a lore tanning check for me.
Or survival, is that okay too? It's actually one higher.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well,
Wait.
people are busy with
I will allow
tents.
That's a natural 19. Oh, sorry, Maxime. Natural 19 for a total of 26.
Yeah, that'll do it. In approximately an hour, you have chopped up the 2 large spider carcasses. There were also a couple of small ones in the forest themselves, but they were burnt to a crisp by the fireball cast by Hannah. So yeah, those are gone. But like, you have more meat than you know what to do with. Like, this'll last you a long time, and it'll probably go bad before then. You might want to try and make some spider jerky.
I'm just gonna overeat.
Goals.
DM. Did the shadowy spider that was teleporting away all the time, or at least vanishing in the mist or something, did it bleed?
It did bleed, although the actual thing that it bled was like this thick, oily smoke that came out of it. So it didn't actually drop to the ground.
Okay.
It just like
Didn't drop.
disappeared into the air itself.
Okay.
It was a spider seemingly made out of shadow.
Also, would have very much liked to have a bit of that, but never mind.
Shadow blood.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Although,
dark.
Alison,
Hmm?
if you'd like, you do still see like the webbing that he shot was like this coalesced shadow. Those are still some remnants on the ground. So if you would like to
Oh.
take a sample of that, that's still there.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sure, why not make it a herbalism check? I mean, like it's it's sort of the same deal, like trying to harvest it.
These are some weird herbs, man.
That's a 20.
20, yeah, more
Total.
than enough. Like, there are large patches of this black, oily webbing that was just sprayed across all the floors of the forest, and without much trouble, you get like this very good handful of all of it. It's still very sticky to the touch, and it actually smells a little bit like smoke does. Like, it has some what do you call it, like burnt essence to it, it seems.
I wrap a bit around one of my daggers to just create like what's that suikerspin? What's the name in English?
Oh,
Cotton candy.
cotton candy.
Cotton
Yeah.
candy. Yeah, just make some cotton candy out of it.
Do you eat it?
No. No.
No. All right. No, but you get like a good handful, like as much as you want, basically. Like, you could take like everything with you, but that would be a hassle, I think, to carry with
No,
all.
I just want to see what kind of specimen this is, where it actually came from, how it got here, something like yeah, just.
You've used your alchemy tools many times before, and you know how much of a certain reagent you require to have like a full set of experiments at the ready, and you got more than enough.
Cool, nice.
Right. Eventually, the tent is set up. It's very pretty. It's actually like this very large like canvas tent with like a front tent in front of it, and it actually has like enough room to have like a what would it be, like 5 by 5 meter like living room in the tent itself, if you'd like, with 2 openings at the side for actual bedding areas. Like, it's
So-
very large. It's very large.
Start putting my sleeping
No,
bag in it.
as soon as they finish the tent, Ira just walks up with his sleeping bag and just, okay, thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the morning, okay?
It's like a family-sized tent that you guys are just arguing over.
And I'm a halfling. I take up like a dog would take up more space than me.
Well,
Uh.
I think Hannah and I would take up. I think you would take up more space than us because you're laying on your back and we're just meditating.
Technically, this
If
tent
I'm
would be
meditating.
large. Technically, this tent would be large enough for all of you, but the aesthetic is that it actually has a living room in the center and then 2 bedding rooms in the side chambers. But it's like, that's like what it's meant for. It doesn't mean that you can't just like lay out your bedroll in the middle of it and go to sleep over there.
Fair enough.
I place my bed in the middle of the room, like
First.
dead center.
Very good.
I feel like I feel like, you know, this is the kind of behavior that Melo would normally show, but because Iroh is kind of already the dominant cat of the party, it's like, oh, new tent, I'm gonna lie here and I'm gonna claim it and I'm gonna
No.
sit there and no one's gonna do anything about it.
Melo would be in the bag that the tent comes in, but that's gonna be the bag of holding, so I would not recommend that.
Please no.
So we just leave
Although-
Melo here.
Although the party has grown another member since the last time that you actually fought the spiders, as this small little raven just perches on your shoulder, Iroh.
I think the
Since-
raven claimed the tent.
Yeah, so we're 2 people,
Respect.
the Raven and me. So this is our tent now.
Very good. Very good.
You said you wanted to share
With the Raven.
with me. You said Hannah and I will take the tent.
Okay, Hannah, you can go in as well.
Thank you.
Because you can speak to the Raven.
All right, you guys go argue over it. I'll just take Iroh's tent, I suppose.
And
I have
eventually,
like a real
all of
small
you-
tent.
and eventually, as all of you grow tired after this late night evening encounter, after hunting all these spiders, eventually you all find your own little neat places in the tents. So you go taking a long rest.
Yes. Hey, lower the volume a little bit.
Yes, already on it. There we go. Just like over there, I think.
Yes, sounds good.
That's nice. Very nice. We're gonna take a little nap. Be back soon. No. You guys take a long rest. You guys still wanna set out the guards during the rest of the night?
chat.
Ghost town.
You actually see like the large tent actually billow up a little bit as like the fart sound reverberates like through all the canvas as it and then goes back again.
Great.
Iroh!
That was the Raven!
But
Oh.
I feel like we would definitely keep on guard, definitely,
Yeah.
especially after
Oh, yeah.
tonight.
Absolutely.
We had an order in which we already picked, like we already kept watch in a specific order, so I think we'll just continue that one.
Very good. All right, then in that case, I would like all 4 of you to roll perception checks for during the night.
Is it with the -5 for sleeping?
The -5 for sleeping. No. This is like for the
For the
person that
watch.
is taking the watch. Yeah.
Cool.
Natural one.
Nice.
22.
30.
30. Nice.
22.
20 touch.
22.
Okay, so
I
we
feel
have.
like if there's an enemy, if there's an enemy that knows us, they will ambush us while Gurkal is on watch. That's optimal tactics right there.
So, in that case, as all of you take your watches, Grakal starting off, sitting there, keeping a close eye on all of the surroundings, feeling your eyelids getting heavier and heavier and heavier. You just rest your eyes for just a moment, at which moment you are tapped on your shoulder awake by Hannah, who steps out as it is her turn to take a watch. Very
Hannah.
uneventful.
Yeah.
Turn already?
Yes. Did you doze off?
Ugh,
You should get some sleep.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe spider meat make me sleepy. I do not know. I
You
go
didn't
to
have the poison, right?
Hmm?
You get the poison poured out, right?
spiders not poison, but venom. So it does not matter if you eat, just do not get bit.
Okay.
Plus, it adds to the taste. So, however, as you set upon like the log that you guys cut it down to also get like the branches for the campfire, you sit there. Melo, your cat, curls up next to you. Like he is at peace, but you can see that his eyes are very closely looking at all of the surroundings. During your watch, Hannah, you hear here and there a couple of rustling of leaves. Shh. Might be a little bit of wind. Might be some creature of the night stalking around your campsite. But nothing that actually catches your attention. Eventually your watch ends, and Allison, you are tapped on. With your sword at your side, you also sit down and take a close look of your surroundings. You have trained your elven heritage to perceive even better than most of your kin. And as such, as the night goes on, your vision begins to adapt more and more to the darkness surrounded in the forest. And eventually, you curl a little smile as you can actually see deeper and deeper into the dark, dense forest and see all kinds of little critters just walking around, seemingly out of sight of all of you. And for the first time that you've been here, you've seen a lot of the darkness that this forest houses, like the spiders, then the assailing from the shadow people once again. But now you can also see just a deer, just walking around slowly, on guard, making sure that no predators are there.
And then?
A little bit here, eating a little bit there, and then just darting off.
And
But
then?
nothing. And then? And then giant spider.
No,
Oh, wait.
very big fart.
And then, as Allison has this beautiful moment again, and you begin to realize it's time to wake Iroh.
And I will.
Iroh keeps
Do you
taking
dare to
credit
come
for
into
the...
tent?
So, yeah.
And with this farting dark green, well, yeah, it's not a D20 because it doesn't have numbers on it. It has a name. Icosahedron.
Yes.
Yeah,
20 gone.
Icosahedron,
the
I
orb.
think.
I just say we call it the artifact.
Sure, the artifact. I like it, the artifact.
The fart.
As you take the artifact with you, still farting a little bit like... You also take your watch.
Yeah, so basically,
And
I
eventually-
wake up Iroh, and Allison, he doesn't need more sleep. Like, he's rested for the night, so he's going out training into the woods, not too far from here. But as every morning, he's just out there training.
Oh god.
Fart
It's called the
effects.
fart.
If you stumble upon anything or anything stumbles upon you, just chill. We try to find you. We'll be fine. Because I'm still a bit sleepy.
Well, the
I'm
chat is
still a bit
spoken,
sleepy. I just woke
so
up.
the fart effect. And as you sit down, Allison, you walk off into the forest to continue your training.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good. As Iroh, you can hear in the back of your periphery, you can hear like the swishing and the steps of Allison's blade dance that he performs. You gaze into the forest around you, keeping a close eye on anything that might be of interest. Eventually, your raven friend flies off and eventually comes back with like a twig with a couple of berries on it. And he just like takes one berry off of it and just like spits it in your hand. As if the raven is feeding you, and then eats the rest for himself.
So can I eat this? Is it edible? I don't know.
Do you
I mean,
eat
if
the
the
bird?
bird's eating it.
Do you
Raven,
eat the random
raven?
berry that the raven brought you?
As a sign of trust, I will eat the random berry.
Very good. It's very sour, and even after you have swallowed it, you ask yourself the question if it's actually good for you or not. But another large fart sound emanates from the fartifact and gets your minds elsewhere, as the raven is also just like looking at you like, dude, is your stomach okay?
I'm looking around me, and can I inspect the raven just to learn a little bit more about him or her?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
So that's a 12.
A 12. It's difficult to say, actually. Like, it seems that this raven has just chosen you as its companion, and as such, he just decided, like, yep, I'm gonna stay with this guy right now. But other than that, he just seems to be a normal, black-feathered, intelligent bird. He doesn't seem like scared. Like, you remember how he was during the combat encounters, and he wasn't like frightened or anything. He was more like nah, this ain't me, and just like perched himself on a tree to look from afar what was happening. But it seemed that he wanted to protect his investment, namely you.
So I decided to name my raven.
Mm.
The fart effect.
No. But, in my defense, I thought the raven was gonna be a girl. So I named her Lenore.
Ooh, Lenore.
Yeah.
I like that.
And now it's a
Yeah.
guy, and now he...
Now it's a
Pretty
guy.
name.
No, it's Leonard. No, I have no clue what this raven is, so I'm just gonna call it Lenore.
From now on,
Shut up,
Until I find
Leonard.
out that
I
it's
saw your
Leonard.
YouTube channel.
like that's gonna be it. Like normally her name is Lenore, but anytime like she fucks stuff up, we're gonna call her Leonard. There we go. Ah, all right.
Or
So
when
from
Hannah
now
talks
on-
to her, it's gonna be like, no, I'm a guy. It's not my name.
That's what-
Shut up,
name's Phil.
Lenore.
all right. No, but Lenore seems to be pretty chill, just sitting there on your shoulder, looking around a little bit, feeding you whenever necessary. Nice. And eventually, as you are sitting here with your watch, you can already see that like the horizon is starting to become from the dark black to dark purple to dark blue to the slow sunrise over the forest. And as the sun creeps back over it, you can actually see that all the darkness that this forest houses begins to dissipate a little bit as your nice little clearing campsite becomes illuminated in light. And as such, Allison also comes back towards the campsite, and
Allison
the party
doesn't.
members wake
Allison
up.
doesn't immediately come back.
Excuse me.
At some point, Allison, Iro, you hear Allison scream at some point.
So I probably head to where Allison is.
Like, it. Can you make a perception check for me, just to see?
The DM will allow this.
So that's a 14.
14. It wasn't a scareful cry, but it was a cry. So you're not sure if you have to be alarmed or not.
Once I find Allison, Allison, what's up? I heard like a scream.
As you walk through the shrubberies, you see Allison completely sweated currently, as he's basically at the end of the cycle of his training of today, and he's crying right now. And he, like, with a very big smile on his face.
Oh, so it's a happy cry.
It's a happy cry. It's a very happy cry.
Okay, cool. Because otherwise I was just gonna head back and we'll see you later. Just, I'm gonna give you a moment. So what's the matter here?
I did it. I didn't. Iro, I did it. I learned my dance.
There's no but. Oh, like that.
I
Nice.
yes. This is very good news. Oh yes.
So can I see it?
Allison looks very tired at this point. He's heavily breathing as well. Yeah, sure.
You can also do it tomorrow if you want. If you're just too tired.
That's a better idea.
We'll keep it for tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Okay. I have to see him now. When can I see him? When can I see him? Like, he's thinking out loud right now. My teacher. My galore.
The one back in Fremdgist?
No.
Oh, the one in Irise.
Well, at least he sent me to Irise.
Grays Bay.
I have to go there.
I'm just out of character here.
Okay.
This is the teacher from Allison's backstory.
Yeah.
Like before he met the pack.
Oh.
Like he had a teacher that learned him this blade dance, which he he was trying.
Allison is, like, you guys know, Allison's been going at this since the first day you met him, and he's never succeeded. Like, this is, like, he's always, like, he's gone back to camp, like, very sad a lot of times, especially in his darker hours when he was a bit depressed. He didn't like training at all anymore, but right now he's very happy, and he doesn't really know what to do with it at this point. You can notice, Iro, like he's thinking out loud a bit, Yeah,
So I'm going to use this moment to my advantage.
go for it.
And this combined with the clarity of a nice sunrise morning, I'm also talking to Alison. I'm just like, so I would like to kind of apologize for what happened at the convenient Mercs. To be honest, I really thought that Garkal was going to win because, well, he usually does that. So I thought it was a safe bet, but apparently not. But she turned out to be very nice. She didn't take any advantage of you, which is
You're
preferable.
you're very good at picking your moment, aren't you? This
I am.
You're very lucky. I'm very happy right now. But
But the main thing is,
given that you're apologizing, I'm never gonna trust you with these kinds of things again. For now,
no, but you will
gonna
just
have
leave
to.
the betting on Garkal.
You're gonna have to earn my trust back, Iro. And
we'll be fine.
he's looking very stern right now. Do you
I'm
understand?
just like,
Things like these,
yeah, we'll
Cannot-
be fine.
you've not learned your lesson, have you?
Oh, I have. I have that I don't always have to bet on Garkal.
I do not
That's
accept
the
your.
lesson here, right?
I do not accept your apology. But I
That's
appreciate
okay.
the effort.
An A for effort. That's what I always say. I'm gonna go back because we're gonna have some breakfast soon.
Yes,
And I
I'm.
just walk back, very happy. Like, yeah, I said my apologies. That's great.
As you're walking back, you hear Allison say at some point, "Oh shit! I should tell Alamili as well." But yeah, that's when you're walking back.
So how do you spell Alamili?
Emily.
Oh,
Emily.
that explains a lot. It's like,
So as Iro-
what is that kind of name?
As Iro arrives back at the camp, I will have prepared spider meat for breakfast for everyone. Spider bacon. Maybe we found some spider eggs. I'm not sure, but spiders sometimes clutch those things on their.
Sure. Yeah. One of them had. Sure.
Oh, sweet. So it's gonna be spider bacon and eggs, and it's gonna be the weirdest taste you've ever all consumed. But Garkal is really enjoying this stuff. It's just. He's gorging.
Like, all of you can decide for yourself if you like to feast on your enemies, or if it leaves a foul aftertaste.
You guys know Allison's answer to that. By now, at least depends on the kind of enemy.
Didn't get to eat the shadow guy,
No, you
so I'm not. Yeah, this time. So I'm not sure if Allison would be opposed to this unless he's like just whole vegetarian now.
No, he's not. Definitely not.
Very good. Then, at this beautiful morning, all of you wake up once more, gather around the campfire to have spider eggs and bacon. And with that, another question comes to mind, and that is, what will the pack do with this beautiful new days that is ahead of him?
In the morning, as you guys wake up too, like everyone notices, Allison is very happy. Like just to point that out. And at that point, you made breakfast, Garkal. Thanks. What did you prepare?
It is the enemies we destroyed.
The spiders.
Yes. They provide much meat. Not much for their size, but still good food, yes?
Have you had a taste?
Many.
Has anyone had a taste? Anyone else?
No.
Will anyone?
Iro? I hold out a bit for Iro. Like it's a big chunk of well roasted meat attached to what seems to be a semi-intact spider leg.
I politely take it from you. I sniff it, and it just smells like. I mean, it smells like well roasted meat.
Yeah, it smells like.
So I'm not
it
going to be
smells.
picky.
No, it actually smells a little bit like beef, as
I
we
do
discussed
pick a
before.
little bit
Because these
from it.
spiders are very large, they have a lot of like, well, at least like the muscle tissue that large mammals need to have. So it should be a little bit like beef.
I pick a bit from
Please,
it.
if there's
and I
any
feed it to my
biologists or whatever, sorry for my stupidity.
So I pick off a little bit of meat and I feed it to my raven first.
You know what, Grakal? I'd like a piece. I'd like
I
to try.
trusted my raven before.
A large black panther named Melo is sitting next to the camp as well, just gorging on one large piece of meat, like her tail, like his tail wisping in the air a little bit.
So
The animal
Milo
seems
is
to like it.
eating No,
Of course.
I'll eat
it's-
it too. Malo's eating it. I shall eat it too.
Yeah. Very good.
Grakal kind of looks around, confused at all the things all of you guys are saying.
Hmm.
Of course, eat. Otherwise, no food and you die. And I hold out pieces for both Hannah and Allison. Just like, duh.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Carl.
All of you begin to think back, and that one time that Allison was charmed, and like the happy demeanor that he has, you're pretty sure he's under some sort of spell again. Like, you don't know what, but
Alistair?
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
have you seen Philora?
No? Why?
Are you okay?
I am absolutely okay, yes. Definitely.
How come that you are so happy?
Well,
I lean
Now-
into Hannah.
now you're asking. Do you know that dance I've been practicing, like, since we met?
Mm-hmm.
I succeeded.
Nice.
Yes. Like,
Oh,
you're thinking like, okay, it's just a dance, whatever.
I lean into
good
Hannah.
job, buddy.
I lean into Hannah and I whisper in her ear like, he says that he succeeded at this dance, but I think he succeeded at finding some herbs.
Oh, I think it's like somewhere else.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's why he's so happy.
maybe we should play along so that he won't go paranoid.
Why are you guys whispering?
We're just very happy for you.
I'm so glad you could do your dance.
Thank you.
Can you show
He's
it?
gonna show it to us tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow
Really?
morning, definitely. Yeah, devs.
Great.
Big Allison recital.
Are you going
Well-
to show it at the same place that you practiced this morning?
We could, definitely. Or just, well, I don't think so, because we're gonna move today.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that wouldn't. No, I'm not gonna show it at the same place. But I did learn a few things about it. Like, I actually. It didn't get to me for a very long time. But I think this is some kind of duet. It's supposed to be some kind of duet. And once I figured that out, and I basically just thought, okay, so if it's some kind of duet, it's some kind of, it must resemble some kind of duel, probably.
Mhm.
And then I just started dancing as if I were fighting. And that seemed to help a lot, like a lot. And I think I actually learned a couple of tricks too for combat.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah, you too, Grakal.
wiser words have never been spoken.
I said, I do not know what this talk is about. And I take another bite of my meat.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, for today, we're just gonna move on. I feel like these relics we're carrying, should we put them in the bag of holding or not?
Maybe.
Would he be able to find it less quickly if we put it into the bag holding?
Like, DM.
Allison, go ahead and make a Arcana check for me, please, to see what you remember about these artifacts known as bags of holding.
16.
16.
18,
Right.
sorry, 18.
You eventually you of course ask the question like, hey, mom, dad, how are these things made and how do they work? And then you don't really remember where exactly or how does it work, but you do remember like the idea of another like small dimension where things are put when you put them in the bag of holding. So that seems to be logical enough to assume that if they are put in the bag of holding, well, if they can be found, at least it'll be a lot harder than just having them on your person.
Yeah, and do I have any idea if we could still be tracked if it were in the bag of holding? Because it's on a
Good
different,
question.
in
Good
a
question.
different
Like,
dimension.
yeah, like logically, you would think probably that it would be a lot more difficult, at least. Like, if not impossible, because they are completely somewhere else.
All right.
So it seems like a good idea to you.
All right. Well, if we don't want to encounter these guys again, it's a very good option to do because I believe it would be a lot harder for people to track us. But besides that, it's just easier, so people just won't be able to steal it from us in our sleep again if we just hide our bag well. Basically that. So
Yeah,
here you
sure,
go.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And can you reach out your bag? And I just put them in. And it disappears.
Whoosh. And it's gone.
Great.
So, Chad, are you just saying that we should actually wear onesies every time we stream?
Oh god, please.
I needed
do
it
not-
once.
You do not know how hot it is in here, man. Like,
I don't have a onesie.
We can buy one together, Maxime.
please don't.
Hey!
We can share a onesie.
Don't,
Hey!
don't give them any more ideas.
Lacal is still confused at talk.
Doesn't matter. Should we pack the camp and just leave? What are we gonna do with the remains of the corpses? Should we basically just all those spider legs? Should we just put them on the side of the road so some adventurer or some hunter that comes here can just pick them up and earn some coin?
Yeah. Or why not?
Cool, we'll do
So
that.
like a bushel of spider legs. Like, oh, I have some twigs and I have some other greens, and oh wait, that's just a bushel of spider legs.
Basically,
Maybe
like those things.
give if we leave on road, animal will eat it. Maybe we give to person in next town.
Yeah, we could ask if someone is heading over here. We could ask that. Sure. If we meet someone on the road.
Maybe
Sounds-
they have the same kind of quest. We can just hand them in.
Just make happy.
Yeah,
Here,
sounds
walk
good.
to other town. Get power, money.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
Yes.
Then I guess plans are set. Let's unwind the camp and let's go. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
This morning, you guys woke up a little bit later than normal, as the evening itself warranted a little bit more rest. So right now, it would be around like 10 in the morning when the pack is packing up and getting all the tents back into each other, and also quickly stored in the bag of holding. You quickly begin to realize why these items are so widely liked, as it is just a beautiful means of transporting these huge amounts of gear that adventurers tend to carry with them. And now all your bags are lighter than ever. And as such, the pack is now ready to venture forth through the Evermist Pine Forest and onto Quenja. You think that it's probably about 3 more days of travel, if things would go okay. So, as you step back onto the road that is curling through this dense forest, what are the tactics that you want to employ during your travels?
I'm almost dancing on the road and just whistling all the time. Very juvenile. Allison's just gonna look for herbs again.
I wanna make sure that Allison is safe and not going to do something stupid because I still think he's high. So yeah, I guess I'll just keep an eye out for Allison in particular.
Very good. You're just making sure that, and with that beautiful fart sound, the actual pack members are propelled even further along the path to salvation.
Ooh, thanks for the hero point.
Allison, nice. And with the beautiful dance, there's also a piece of invigorating energy coursing through Allison's veins. So, Hannah, you are keeping close watch on Allison to make sure that everything's okay. Allison, what are you doing? Are
I'm
you
looking for
herbs again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
very
gonna
good, very
take my
good.
time.
All right. Recall?
I am going to keep an eye out for enemies. Spear and shield in
Mhm.
hand. My shield is not raised. I'm just keeping an eye out.
Very good. Iro, is there anything you would like to do during your travels?
So, as you might have heard, we had like this problem with spiders one whole night. So I am gonna keep an eye out for spiders. Aside from that, I'm just gonna look around a bit and see if my raven would like to converse with me.
All right, so as you guys are walking along the path, let's start with you, Iro. Go ahead and make a nature check to see how things go with your beautiful new raven friend.
This is still so much fun because nature is a +0 for me. Oh, but I did roll a 16, so that's pretty okay.
That's pretty okay. That's pretty okay. So, as you guys are walking along the path, like at first you try to converse a little bit with your raven, but it doesn't really work all that well because, well, he doesn't really speak the common tongue. But eventually, as you are walking, you begin to employ the tactic of just like keeping a close look on all of your surroundings. And as such, eventually, as you are just like looking clearly, eventually you make eye contact with your raven, who's like looking peculiar at you. And eventually it seems to click with him. And he begins to fly off. And eventually lands back on your shoulder and just taps you a little bit, like just a little bit too hard on the neck to focus your attention on the right, where you can then see that there is this fallen tree. Nothing special, but at least something different in your surroundings. Then the raven flies off again. Eventually comes back, taps your cheek again, and eventually points you into the direction that you can see that Allison is also darting along, where you can see that this beautiful tree with fruit bearing in it. A nice apple tree just in the middle of nowhere, a little bit out of sight, where you can pick a nice apple, not for sustenance, but at least for pleasure, that you have something to nibble on during the way. And as such, it seems that the raven has understood that you are now watching your surroundings, and as such, he is going to aid his investment and aid you in this endeavor.
Nice.
Fair.
As this is happening, another beautiful fart sound, and this time the raven just flies off because he's had enough of all these sounds that you're making, Iro. I mean, like, come on, you really need to stop this. Like,
it's not
like that,
me, Raven.
I think that the one berry.
The
I think that the one berry that you ate just like had some trouble with your stomach. I think that's the thing. So, as this is going
the
on,
artifact. It's not me. Please, Raven. Please.
as this is going on, I would like Grakal, Hannah, and Iro to make perception checks.
I love
See
how
what you're.
I love how we're constantly switching between 18 plus and 3 plus.
Yeah.
I do pick some apples for the rest as well. So
That's
everybody
a
can get a nice
natural.
juicy apple.
Ooh,
Natural 20.
Oh shit.
And
Hannah,
a 25.
25. Nice, very nice.
Same. 25.
25. Ooh. All right. So those couple of hours of extra sleep have seemingly paid off very, very well, as all of you keep a very, very close eye on your surroundings. The same things that Allison saw just the night before now also become apparent to all of you, especially you, Grakal, as like your vision begins to widen out. Eventually, you see a couple of things stalking through the forest, but nothing that actually seems harmful or a threat or a predator to all of you. Although at one point you actually do see one of those animals that you had tracked long before, a large bird with a beak that is like pushed to the side. So it has like the opening still in the middle, but like the beak itself is in the form of an axe head. These are the axe beaks that you heard about after you found their tracks. Normally very timid birds, but when provoked, they will attack and they can pack quite a punch. But eventually you see a couple of these walking birds actually just like rummaging through the forest side next to you. It's a very nice sight to see like the normal balance of the forest at work as they just like strut along. For the rest of you, same thing. Eventually, here close to the path, sometimes you see a little squirrel just darting along. Sometimes, somewhere very, very deep in the forest, you see some sort of boar actually just grazing around with a couple of little piglets next to it. But nothing that actually catches your attention in a way that would cause you to act in a defensive manner. It seems that this day, everything is okay. Or is it? Allison, go ahead and make a... Oh, yeah?
It's all ogre now.
It's all ogre.
So as we pass by the axe beak birds, I look at the food supply. I look at the birds. I look at the food supply. I look at the birds, and Grakal decides that there's no need, so he moves on again. I guess.
Free experience points. No. All right. So with this, the journey of the pack continues. Allison, go ahead, and this time, I've changed things up a little bit after our last talk. So go ahead and make a herbalism check.
Oh, okay. In that case, that's a 29 with a natural 17.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like on a herbalism check?
Herbalism. I have plus 12. If I take the time, get a +2 bonus. I have +12.
How do you get the +2 bonus to your lore check?
Every skill check, if I take the time, I get a +2.
Oh, damn. Nice, nice. Well, in that case, let me get this beautiful thing up to speed.
It's an elfin feat.
Ooh,
Elfin
nice.
longevity, it's called, or something like that.
Yeah. Like you can take your time because you are a very patient little boy. All right, so. Shibidibidibdibdoo. Go. Sorry for the delay, fellas.
Oh god,
we've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, and we've got hentai in the chat, so we're fine.
I have places to be. I have to be at Quenja. I have to be in Quenja at 3.
So let me ask you this, Allison. Do you want to go for quality or quantity?
Allison's feeling quality.
Quality? Very well, very well. Then eventually, as you are walking through this beautiful little forested area of you can eventually find what seems to be a little bit of a... let me see... There we go. There we have it. A little bit of a blight on the forest, actually. As you are walking along, you eventually, you actually pass over a couple of things that might be of interest to you, going in for, the more, jumping out sort of flora that this forest might offer. And as the night's summer rays are shining onto this forest, you can eventually see a couple of places, just like in one patch of the forest, it seems to be a little bit off. You can see that there are a couple of trees that are completely dying out. And as you get closer to them, you can see that at the roots, there seems to be some sort of dark purple parasitic herb eating away at all of them. Like a couple of them, like 4 or 5 trees are being eaten away, like a very life force is being leached from them. It actually looks like, as it grows, in a very peculiar shape, in the form of small felines or canine features. They are actually grown in a very similar pattern to cats or dogs, which give you this idea that this is more than just a normal plant. This is something magical.
Cool, awesome.
Right.
I'll try and get it out.
Very well. As you go there, you take out your little knives and go ahead and make a crafting check to see how well you can take these very, very peculiar herbs out of it.
I'm gonna use my hero points for this.
Yeah.
So for you, Grimboy, basically hero point, I can re-roll a dice roll. I just rolled a natural 4, so I want to re-roll it into a natural 16. So that's a lot better.
Nice.
What kind of check? Crafting?
That was a crafting check, yes.
In that case, that is a 31.
31. Jesus, man.
Gosh.
All right. So with that, it seems that this day, the sun is shining upon you, all right. And with the same grace that you did your dance earlier today, you are now gathering all of these beautiful herbs up and neatly packing them in all the different types of containers that you have with them. In total, you get 4 different doses of this thing, whatever it might be. It seems very interesting, although you'll have to do some research to figure out what it actually is.
After her getting this out of the ground, I walk up to Hannah. Hannah!
Yeah?
There's blight over here. This cost I think you might be interested in this as well. Do you know what blight is?
No.
Have a look. I think you'll find it very interesting.
I have my cantrip. Detect magic. Can I do it?
Ooh, you can certainly. All right. So as you are walking through the forest, Iroh and Gurkal are taking a close lookout to keep like watching their surroundings very very closely. You walk up and you tap your staff onto the ground, like the beautiful wooden staff with the burning mistletoe at the top of it begins to flare up just a little bit as a couple of scintils just like begin to throw off as you can feel this pulse of nature energy walking through all of the roots of the trees, eventually into the trees that are being rotten and eaten away by these plants. And you can indeed see that there is something off with them. I'll go ahead and make just a straight up wisdom check for me, please.
That's 21.
21. All right. So, as this energy is flowing through the forest, you get this very eerie feeling, actually. Let me just get this one. As you can realize that these plants are eating away, but not something that is parasitic in nature of its own, but... Oh, why is the music not doing it?
It worked for us.
Oh, did it work for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it playing for you guys right now?
It is.
Nice. Silence is nice for me then, I guess. So, as you feel this energy permeating it, you can sense a similar effect in these plants that you've sensed once before. The effect that you sensed when you were all the way back in the mountain range, where the shadow people in the ground were corrupting the very land itself. It seems that the plants that are being spread here in this small patch of forest hold a little bit of the same dark, shadowy, lethargic energy that the corruption in the mountains also carried.
Allison, this is not good.
No, it's not. It's interesting though. This is something you should learn about, because this is something you're gonna have to fight as a druid.
It feels the same as when we were in the mountains.
In the mountains?
Yeah.
You mean, with the giants?
Yeah.
Their area?
Mm-hmm. When we first entered there.
Was that blight as well? It kind of makes
I-
sense, I guess, given that it had to do with the Shadowfell and all.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel so good.
Well, I get that. Sorry for this, then. I thought you might wanted to learn a bit more about what you're fighting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have to take a step back, I think.
Okay. Would you like me to make some tea for you in a bit?
Maybe, yeah. That would be nice.
Guys, we're taking a break. As
Yes.
we're gonna have a small break, and Allison's just gonna try and set some tea to
Very
make
good.
Hannah feel better again.
Then we will keep the rolls that Gurkal, Iroh, and Hannah made for their perception checks. But Allison, as you are now going to travel a couple of more days, I would like you to make 2 additional herbalism checks. Real quick.
And a 20
20, nice.
and a 22.
22 and 20. All right. So then 2 more crafting checks. Just to speed this along a little bit.
Yeah. 30
30? Jesus, man.
and 30.
Yeah.
Can you stop? Can you just... Oh,
Oh, we lost the
well,
Gurkal.
I didn't mean like that, but...
Just
He-
like gas.
He took it very serious.
Do we need to be like here, or do
No,
we need to be like here?
no,
now?
the other way.
No.
The other way.
Like this?
No, the
Alright,
other way. The other side.
Oh, other way?
Yeah.
Here?
There you go. Yeah.
And now
Okay, cool.
I stop.
So,
Oh.
here he's coming back.
But yeah, what did you say?
So, because during your travels, these other 2 days, as you're traveling through the forest, you can find 2 additional patches of this blight,
Oh.
as you call it, on the forest itself. And you go there and just pick out a couple of other samples, and in total you get another 5 of this. So you have like a very large batch of workable things. You can't really like get all the blight out of the ground itself. For that, you would have to use some sort of other tools to to your disposal, but like all the very quote unquote ripe pieces of this plant are harvested very quickly and very well with you. So you now have a total, I think, 9
Yeah.
doses of this plant with you that you can use for, well, you tell me eventually.
Guys, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about what's happening in the surroundings. I thought finding these herbs here was just some kind of bad luck or some anomaly, but I'm finding them everywhere.
Oh, that's not good.
No,
Music
that's not
stopped.
good. Yeah, music stopped.
Mm.
So I'm not.
Record scratch.
I'm not too sure about this, guys.
Neither.
Like,
But-
If I check the other things that Allison found as well with detect magic, does it say the same?
I would say you can cast Detect Magic, of course, but go ahead and make another Wisdom check for me, please. See if you can feel the same essence, or if this might
that's
be
a
a
natural
different
one.
touch. Natural one.
you
It's
have a
hard to
hero
tune in.
point if you like, eh?
Oh, right.
Gasp.
I'll cross
Then
it
I
off.
reroll, right?
You can if you want to use it.
Natural one again.
Hey, the dice have spoken. The dice have spoken. This
Whoa,
darkness,
damn.
whatever it is, it seems to not really like you all that much. But eventually, however, with this harvesting of herbs being completed, after a couple of days of travel that are uneventful, where you can just sleep at the side of the road without much problems, I need to go back a little bit to the first night, where eventually after that night, Allison wants to perform something, I believe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about it too.
I wanted to fast travel right now, but it seems that is not a thing that we are going to do.
So, as Allison basically gets ready, he takes in a deep breath as well, and you see that the same magical essence that flourished around him in the last fight, he's using that same energy to boost him as well, and he first just starts to dance and walk around a bit, and basically as if he's currently just tracking a combatant on the other side. He's basically just moving around, circling around a particular place, swirling his blade around and around to, as you guys can see, would kind of be similar to a fight actually. And eventually the passes get a lot more difficult and a lot more difficult and a lot more difficult, as they eventually kind of resemble in Avatar: The Last Airbender. There are like 2 of these moments in the show where they also have these battle dances. The first one in that cave, the party, for people just to have a bit of a reference. If most people have seen that show, so I'm just gonna
The
assume.
movie or like?
Oh no, the anime, Last Airbender.
There is no movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there is no movie.
No, the movie is
So
way
we're gonna
better than the show.
So movie references aside.
And yeah, he's basically picking up speed, constantly dashing from one side to the other, twirling around, making backflips, making barrel rolls, doing all kinds of lunges and slashes around him. And you feel like, yeah, you kind of get why he had needed a long time to actually perfect this, because it's looking very difficult. And he seems to be able to do it kind of flawlessly at this moment.
Do I see you using herbs while doing this?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job, Allison. Much like dance at campfire, my people do,
Really?
but faster and smaller and less screaming. Yes, you learned this when we were for a week on that island.
Sorry? No, this is something like where I grew up. I had this tutor, and basically he told me, like, the night before he left.
As from the artifact, a small little round of applause is being added to the dance of Allison.
Nice. as he get interrupted in his talking, like, well, that happened.
There's a delay, all right. Like artifacts take time. Fartifacts, sorry, artifacts.
Allison might have gotten better at dances, but his speeches are still Allison.
Yeah, I thought it was just about her being sarcastic until I read the chat.
But
I'm not
he'll
that
continue.
much of a bastard.
So, my galore, he basically taught me this the few days prior, before he left, and only a month later, I actually started traveling on my own. And he basically explained to me, okay, so I've taught you all of the things that your family wants me to teach you, but now I want to teach you something of my own, like something that, well, basically he told me, go and learn this dance and don't return to me in Iris before you've completed it. And he's kind of a father figure to me, maybe even more than my actual father. And I think he'd be very proud of me. And as I'm noticing, I feel like this actually is very beneficial to the way I fight. Like I try to actually use deception a lot in combat priorly and just deceive people and feign a lot, but I kind of understand that's maybe not the way to go right now.
So Allison, dance you showed us. Good for battle.
I think so, yes.
Good. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Breakfast done.
Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah. Yeah. And
Good
we're
job,
Happy,
Allison.
but confused why everyone wanted to see. We'll see next time we kill spiders, yes? Then Allison can show again.
But in action.
sounds good.
Yes, covered in the blood and gore of our enemies.
Like
The dance shall look better.
I feel like I kind of get the grasp of what he's trying to teach me with this dance, and I'm gonna try and perfect that in combat the next few months. But I think this can actually work in other ways. Yeah. And
Very well.
as he's trying to
Yes.
explain a little bit more, we're just gonna have breakfast and we're gonna leave again.
And eventually, after a couple of days of uneventful travel through the Evermist pine forest, you exit what seems to be this forested region. Eventually, the trees become thinner and thinner, and eventually it turns over into a hillside, as you can now see once again to your left, to the north, the large rocky ridges of the Spine of the World mountain range tower out before you, as to the front, somewhere, there should be the village of Quenja. Then a half-day travel more, until eventually you can begin to hear the rumbling of water somewhere in the distance, as eventually, as you see this small little wooden sign that basically says Quenja further on, you follow the road further and further until eventually, as you go over one hill, you can see that there is this very quaint little river trickling down through multiple waterfalls, and built around this river on the hillside, you can see the village of Quenja built around its many waterfalls with different, like, what do you call it? Like mills that are used for water. Water mills?
Water
Is that like a
mills?
word?
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
think you're thinking of water mills.
Slate, okay? Slate.
Yeah.
Different water mills that the waterfalls are actually trickling down and getting all the machinery going. A couple of little dots of trees being pushed around the village itself as you make your way towards this long stretched little village, where hopefully Vialora will be waiting for all of you. And that's where we'll go ahead and take a little break.
Okay, awesome.
Yay!
All right, let's see if we can actually achieve some non-roleplay things this next bit.
Let's see if you can achieve something today. Well, you found some nice little
Yeah,
herbs, and you
definitely.
found another clue as to what is going on with that shadow thing, whatever it is.
Yeah,
We found another town that we can leave a trail of destruction in, so that's
Oh,
nice
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
To the ground.
curious if this is what
I
Fire
might be
Lore...
able to make some bets.
I love how you're speaking through me all the time, Aaron. But I'm kind of
Oh.
curious in if Fire Lore actually wants us to find something around this as well. Hey, thank you for the
she wants you
subscription, Arno.
to. She wants you all to just ruin the town. Like I have all these NPCs with their own tragic ways of death. Like that's about it.
I think we should have like a
Awesome, Arno.
Seinfeld finale to this whole campaign, where we just think we're the good guys, but then we get confronted by all the people we've done wrong. You know.
Seems about right. Seems about right. So
I would love that.
before
but
we go on into the break, there is one last little thing that I want to tell all of you lovely viewers, and that is that with the corona crisis, which is terrible for everybody except for us, because you're all now seated at home watching us, we thought that it might be a good time to start giving back to our beautiful community who still like watches us even though we're like this. So if you actually scroll down like in the stream itself, you'll actually find that at the end of our description there are a couple of things to look forward to. Right now we are just getting to 7 subscribers. If we hit that beautiful mark of double digits, we have some connections. And as all of you are fantasy enthusiasts, or at least we hope, there will be a beautiful giveaway of a total of 3 hand-painted minis by us to anybody in the chat at that time. In the same way, our followers have also been starting to grow, and as we still want to encourage ourselves and everybody to keep doing that, once we hit 150 followers, there will be another giveaway of 10 dice. I just love to share things. The dice will also be accompanied by a beautiful, neat little bag and a handwritten note by Crystal, truly. And we are already crushed the 20 viewer mark at one moment. If during this little break we will get towards the 30, we will have a beautiful 50% discount on all the things with llama points. So chaos will ensue. So yeah, like it's just we really love that things are kicking off, and we would like to give stuff to you because we like giving, and it's also a nice thing to work forward for ourselves. So. Yay!
Yay to
So
that.
that's just a couple of things that we put on
right.
the horizon to look forward to. More
And,
free stuff for all y'all.
The subscriber we like the least will get the mini that I painted.
Well. One last thing. The subscriptions and all the giveaways. Twitch does not allow to give giveaways to subscribers because that would mean
Paywall.
that you. Yeah, that would be that it's behind a paywall. So all the giveaways will be in chat. So even if you are not a subscriber or are not a follower, that'll still mean that you are able to get in on this beautiful action.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can do that it's only followers. I think we can, but we're gonna have to look into that.
we'll check
probably
the
just gonna be in chat.
Yeah.
Probably going to be in chat.
Check you later during after the break.
Wait.
See you all back
in the
at
meantime-
8:30.
Wait,
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
God.
meantime, if you are bored in our little break, I have a new song out on our YouTube channel.
Oh,
It's called Deep Beneath the Mountains. And I also, it's not in the song, but I bought a new instrument. It's like a sitar, but I do still have to tune it and stuff.
Put
and learn how to play it.
nice.
Especially the last one. Learn how to play it.
Nice.
Put a link to your video in
the chat.
Maxime.
Yep.
I will.
Yeah. Okay. Hey guys,
Nice.
see you in a bit. 50 minutes, like 30.
see you back. Yeah, see you back at 8:30 sharp. That's also all of you, party members.
CET.
Back at
Just so people
8:30
know.
sharp. Yeah.
Okay. See you in a bit. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.